Another deeply disturbing video of how the police have been completely brutalizing peaceful protesters, people, citizens in the United States, people in the United States, because obviously you shouldn't be brutalized if you're not quote unquote a citizen. So as a poor choice of words on my part, and I'm not sure. Indianapolis, okay. So, city I'm about to show you, deeply disturbing in Indianapolis, Indiana, like I just said. This woman being restrained by this fascist cop. I don't like to say call police pigs because pigs are really kind, intelligent animals. They're actually one of the smartest animals in the animal kingdom, smarter than dogs. Actually, I believe they have the intelligence of like a 5-year-old or something like that. So, very intelligent beings. Another reason to go vegan, in my opinion. So, this cop is going to grope this woman. And obviously, she resists that because who wants to have their personal body violated in such a fashion by a fascist cop, fascist sexist cop? Hugely disgusting. Again, if the roles were reversed, if this person tried to assault this cop, the book would be thrown at them. But because the cop's doing it, let's see if any charges are filed. I mean, come on. Let's not kid ourselves. It's a totally different justice system for those people than it is for the rest of us. And that's why we need to get rid of them. Defund, demilitarize, use those programs to support social uplift, things like education, housing, healthcare, employment, things that address the root causes of crime. So let's take a look. Again, it's disturbing. See how she tries to grope her? And then look how they beat her for her resisting getting groped or sexually assaulted. And then look and then they push that person over. Jesus Christ. So disgusting. Get these fucking people off the streets. I'm gonna play it again. I'm gonna play that part again. She tries to freaking grope her breast. So, and then they beat her with the batons. Look at that. And then she's like, what's going on? Or they're like, what's going on? And then boom. She could have cracked her skull like that 75-year-old. So disgusting. And again, this is the tax dollars of people in the United States are going to fund these completely unaccountable police forces that are day in, day out terrorizing people, terrorizing communities of color, terrorizing other marginalized groups as they have been through the history of policing in the United States. The only difference now, it's being extended to peaceful protesters of every background basically. But again, it's so disgusting. Beaten while still, this is from Peter Dow, beaten while still standing up when she tried to break away. This is an attempt to crush dissent like a dictatorship. I wouldn't say like a dictatorship, but we live in a police state. Let's get real here. Let's see what else we can find from this thread, if anything else is going on with this. God, it's so disgusting. I mean, who would not resist, who would not try to fight back when a police officer sexually assaults you? Seems like, yeah, you would want to fight back, push back against being violated in such an extreme, disgusting way. Again, I had toiled with the idea of, well, maybe we can just cut the police force's budget in half or by 75% and just defund them that way, demilitarize. But I think at this point, honestly, the only conclusion I can come to with keeping social justice in mind, because that's honestly, obviously super important and is one of the part of the code of ethics of the field that I'm in, social work, is that we need to abolish the police. Like, the kind of Chomsky's view of anarchism, and probably obviously other anarchists think this too. If these hierarchical, oppressive institutions can't be justified, then you dismantle them and build them back up from the ground up. So, getting rid of the police, using that money to fund programs of social uplift, developing restorative justice practices in these communities when they need to happen, and go from there. Because frankly, I don't see a whole lot of evidence that the police, that the criminal and justice system are actually keeping us safe or making the United States a better place. And so that's why, from my perspective, they do so much more harm than good. That's why we need to abolish them. That's the place I'm at right now. And again, we're just really seeing more of this now because of technology, and because this police brutalizing people and oppressing them has just been extended. This type of behavior and treatment has always been acted out towards communities of color, towards Black communities, towards Native American communities, towards Latinx communities, towards other marginalized groups, towards the low income people, towards LGBTQ communities. And now it's just being extended to basically every form of peaceful protest, no matter what those people look like. The police are brutally repressing them in every way imaginable, groping them. And when they try to fight back, they are brutally assaulted again. People being shot with rubber bullets, shot in the eye, people losing their eyes, peaceful protesters being tear gassed. Tear gas isn't even legal in war, and it's being used on civilians in the United States. Children being maced. I believe that happened last weekend at a protest here in Seattle. People being hit with police cars, multiple places all over the United States. People being beaten with batons, protesters, journalists being assaulted with batons, people going home from work being assaulted, people in their homes being assaulted. Come on. Frankly, if you're not saying the police don't need to be abolished at this point, I would really ask you to reconsider why you're not coming to that conclusion. It took me a long time, but again, from my perspective, there's no way to reform this just completely out of control, unaccountable system that is day in, day out brutalizing people, violating people's constitutional rights left and right, all across the United States. There's no way to reform a completely uncorrupt and accountable system. That's why we need to break it down, dismantle it, and build it back up from the ground up. Those are my thoughts. Peace. Much love.